The bell rings, sharp, metallic, certain. If there was one thing we respected in school even more than we respected teachers, it was the school bell. The bell did not negotiate. It did not explain itself. It rang and bodies moved. We ran without being told, movement without running. We lined up without reminders. We returned to class without a teacher on duty appearing from nowhere. The bell was enough. It meant that time had shifted. It meant the lesson had changed. It meant you were either moving with everyone else or explaining yourself later. So when the bell rings here, I instinctively prepare to move, to gather books, to redirect energy, to continue. I wait for motion, but nothing happens. The bell fades into the air and the school remains exactly as it was. That is when I begin to understand. Here, the bell does not command, it suggests, and the day will decide whether to listen. I arrived early enough to discover that some of the learners woke up before me. They were already outside. Some were playing hide and seek with the seriousness of a competitive sport. Some were eating packed snacks like the day might end at any minute. Some were hanging dangerously on the dry sinks, which looked like they retired from water service some time before the school was founded. The classroom door was of course locked. There was no bell to summon authority, no whistle, no signal. So I stood there, watching, waiting. 20 full minutes of observing small humans invent joy, danger, and chaos out of thin air. Eventually, a teacher arrived and rushed, keys jingling with the confidence of someone who has never been chased by time. The door opened and we entered. I tied my shoes properly, checked my lesson, and listened closely. The bell was about to speak. In this school, the ECD day ends at exactly 12 p.m. This is the one time the bell is taken seriously. When it rings, there is no confusion, no negotiation, no waiting for instructions. Small hands immediately dive into school bags. Plastic dishes appear like magic. Lids are unscrewed with urgency. This bell does not suggest, it commands. This is the feeding program, Food for Education. At this point, my role changes from instructor to distributor. Yellow watches are handed out, small, bright, serious-looking things. The children wear them proudly because they know what they mean. This bell works. There is a timetable. It exists. I am told this confidently. I am shown a version. It has subjects. It has time slots. It looks responsible. It has also not been followed since the school opened 5 years ago. The timetable is not for learning. It is for visiting. It lives quietly, waiting for the day an education officer arrives, and on that day it becomes very important. On all the other days it rests, so I keep it. When the bell rings for break, most learners respond. They run outside, they stretch, they breathe. Break begins immediately. Break, however, does not end. It continues patiently, generously, until a teacher on duty appears. Time does not bring break to a close, a human does. Some children never go outside. They are still writing, still catching up, still finishing what others finished earlier. They walk through break quietly. Then, when break officially ends, they stand up. Now, at this very moment, they need the toilet. One by one. Then another, and soon the class is empty. I cannot continue teaching when no one is present, so I wait. 10 minutes, sometimes 15. Time for them to return. Time to settle. Time to remember that they were learning something. By the time everyone is back, seated and breathing normally, the lesson has changed size. Attention spans are short, energy has shifted. So I adjust. I stop aiming for completion and aim for connection. I learn quickly what not to do. Writing activities, for instance, are very dangerous. Once they begin writing, that is the day's main event. Everything else dissolves around it. So I choose carefully. I pace gently. I teach in fragments, understanding the rhythm. At first, this feels like disorder. Then I notice the pattern. The bell is not ignored, it is ranked. The timetable is not useless, it is ceremonial. Learning happens in the spaces in between, not according to time, according to readiness. Here, teaching is less about control and more about timing my breath with the room. I stop fighting the bell. I stop chasing the schedule. I teach whoever is present. I begin where they are. The bell rang again today. Some children moved, some didn't. The lesson survived. Anyway, tomorrow I will plan less tightly, listen more closely, and remember that in this classroom, time is not kept on the wall, it lives in the children. This is our second episode of Chalk Dust series. Kindly like and subscribe for more content. Bye bye.